It's a good day. It's a good day because even though Assassin's Creed Shadows launched and it's been mildly successful, Ubisoft stock prices are still going down, and that makes me quite happy. Now, why you might be wondering why that makes me happy? Well, I am a proud Ubisoft hater. Now, I have my reasons. I've talked about them in the past. Mostly it's because they refuse to refund a game that they should have refunded, and their customer support is garbage. Now, on top of their games being mediocre at best and getting worse with each new iteration, I think it's pretty fair of me to dislike them. And yeah, it's never been a better time to dislike Ubisoft. Now, I know people making all sorts of videos about how oh you shouldn't be happy about Ubisoft the situation they have fuck them. I don't care. But take a nice long look at this number right here. What do you think? What do you think, little man? Yeah, that's a good ass number, right? That's a good ass number. It's almost sub 10. It's almost sub 10. That's the thing I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for it to go below 10. That'll make me happy. I'll laugh when that happens. But this guy is explaining why the Ubisoft stock price is still falling despite positive reviews to Assassin's Creed Shadows. And most of the reviews to Assassin's Creed Shadows have nothing to do with the game, both positive and negative. So it's, yeah, a little uninteresting to read most of those reviews. Regardless, let's take a look at this video by Sungrand Studios where he explains the stock situation.
Thank you for joining me. Today we discuss the factors that are preventing Ubisoft's stock price from rising.
It's me. It's I'm doing it. The force of my will alone is doing that.
A number of factors are limiting the growth of Ubisoft stock. First, this meeting is for adults to have an adult conversation.
Right.
I see many children in the room who are about to throw a tantrum and defend Assassin's Creed Shadows by attempting to insult adults and call them names. We do not have time to entertain you children today, so if you're going to throw a tantrum, let me know in the comment section below, and someone should be along shortly to give you a link to a Cocomelon video so you can watch a video that you are intellectually capable of understanding.
Fucking beautiful delivery on that one. Lovely. Let's continue.
I am here to attempt to help Ubisoft and its associates and to help Assassin's Creed as an intellectual property and commercial product.
I'm here to laugh at Ubisoft mostly. I don't think I generally do not believe that they would take on any criticism, any thought process that would involve them being self-critical. I don't think that there's any likelihood of that, so I'm just not even worried about it. I'm just gonna laugh at their I'm just gonna laugh at the downfall.
With that out of the way, why have we seen no positive growth in Ubisoft's stock price after the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft's latest quadruple A game?
Most likely because it didn't meet expectations, numbers wise, even though it hasn't even been a month, which is kind of weird. But if you look at something like Veilguard, for example, which had actually like a much smaller budget than Shadows, I think they managed to get 1 million sales in the first month, and that was like a third of what they needed. So yeah, I think somebody did the math on Shadows for how much it would need to be successful, and it was like in the 5 to 8 million range in terms of copies sold. And so far, it's engaged 3 million players. Now, engaged 3 million players means that there are 3 million players playing the game. It does not mean that 3 million people bought the game, because there are a number of ways that you can play the game without actually purchasing it by participating in, any number of subscriptions, right? I think there's a Ubisoft subscription, which frankly, I don't know why you'd pay unless you're just a Rainbow Six Siege enthusiast. Um, there's the Xbox subscription and the PlayStation subscription, which all of those would allow you to play Assassin's Creed Shadows without actually paying for the game itself. So, while you do have all of these things, you might not actually have the sales of the game that you needed. So that might cause the price of stocks to keep falling. Because if you'll recall, the price of stocks before Shadows came out was in the 12 range. Now it's in the 10. So, yeah.
A huge contributing factor to the continual decline of stock price are all the dishonest reviews and articles from mainstream media. IGN, The Guardian, Steam Deck HQ, PC Gamer, Polygon, Vice, Engadget, Top Gear. These are the top searches on Google when one searches for Assassin's Creed Shadows reviews. However, there is uniformity in the dishonesty and misrepresentation in the quality and content of the game. There has been significant discrepancy between the reality of the game and the projected reviews from mainstream media.
Yeah.
Top Gear calls the game a return to form.
What is with that fucking line, by the way? Like, return to form. You know the form of Assassin's Creed is 1 to 4, right? That's the form, right? That's the form of Assassin's Creed. It was the same bullshit with Veilguard. It's a return to form. No, the fuck it's not. It's never been farther from the form. Never been farther. And the same shit with Shadows. Now, I've heard people say that gameplay-wise, Shadows is better than Valhalla. So, hey, if that's true, good for you. I thought Valhalla was unplayable. I played it for a little bit, for like an hour or something. Then I brought up the map and I was like, wow, I am not wasting my time on this shit. And uninstalled, tried to get the refund, got dicked around for 2 weeks, and then they said, "Oh, the time for a refund has passed." Even though I tried the refund process within days of within 1 or 2 days of getting the original thing, they still denied my refund, refused entirely, cut all communication, didn't let me, like, outright scam behavior. So yeah, no, I think Shadows, even if it has better gameplay, I've seen the animations, I've seen the voice acting. That is the sort of thing that was okay 10, 15 years ago, right? And now I've seen some people say that, well, oh, the game would have been game of the year 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, but that's because 10 to 15 years ago, games like that weren't being made. There weren't games with that level of scope. Quality has increased, right? Like, quality expectation has increased, especially for prices of $70 and up, right? If I'm paying $70 for a video game, I expect a certain level of quality. If I'm gonna drop like $80 on a game, I expect it to be, Doom Dark Ages. If I'm gonna drop $60 on a game, I expect it to be First Berserker Kazan, right? That's my expectation. That's what I expect out of video games, out of my money. I'm not going to pay $70 for a game that would have been good 15 years ago. And I'm definitely not paying more money to get the full experience because you decided to cut out some quest lines, mediocre quest lines from everything I've heard, before launch just so you could squeeze a little bit more money out of people, right? No, fuck that. Especially with those dog ass customizations, the fucking dragon armor. Ugh, disgusting. Look terrible
Why is a car website reviewing a video game?
because they were paid to.
There are countless video clips proliferating through the internet showing the actual quality of the game and its issues. The quality of the voice acting and the dialogue writing are so.
And like, here's the thing. I am unable to tell when the Japanese voice acting is bad. I can't tell whatsoever. However, we're talking about a French studio, a French Canadian studio, because this is Ubisoft Quebec that did it. Ubisoft is French. Ubisoft Quebec is in Canada, so it's a Canadian studio. If the English voice acting, the thing that they have easy access to, is as bad as it is, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the Japanese voice acting is even worse. And the facial animations are somehow worse than fucking Veilguard. All right? Like, what the hell happened to simplifying the character's face so that you can better do the animations and stuff. Like, look at Dragon Age Origins. How the fuck does Dragon Age Origins have the best facial animations of the fucking series? How the fuck does fucking Assassin's Creed Black Flag have better facial animations than Shadows? How? It doesn't make sense until you realize that they were just cutting costs and reducing the amount of money that they put into the studio and reduce the amount of work that they put into the game, whilst maintaining and in fact increasing the price that you have to pay for it because they wanted to make more money fast. They wanted to artificially inflate the stock prices so they can sell out and dip out. That's it. That's what they were trying to do. And because they did that, and this is a video game, and the video game industry is an art industry, that shit doesn't fucking work.
So humiliatingly bad, I refuse to conduct my own breakdown and analysis of it. It is an insult to a professional writer. The one good aspect about the game, the visuals of the environment, are not enough to make a good.
That is one thing I will say. Like, all the trees are really pretty, right? Like, whoever modeled the trees and the grass and all that stuff, good job to you. Can we, like, pay that guy less and pay everybody else more? Because that guy, set dressing. Doesn't matter. It's like the wall behind me that's white. That doesn't fucking matter. No one gives a shit about that fucking wall. I matter. I'm the thing that matters in the video. Me talking. Him above me, he matters more than the fucking wall behind me. So that wall having really nice textures doesn't fucking matter. You need substance. You need good dialogue. You need good voice acting. You need good mic quality. You need that shit. You can't just say, "Oh, but the wall is pretty." Who gives a fuck? It's a wall.
Good product or a video game. Let's say you wake up one day and see 20 glowing reviews for a new restaurant serving boeuf bourguignon. And all of these reviews say it is the best boeuf bourguignon they have ever had. They all say it is a return to form, that nobody has ever made boeuf bourguignon this perfect. It is perfect. Even a car website says this restaurant serves the best boeuf bourguignon. So you go to this restaurant, you order the boeuf bourguignon that you have heard so much about, you receive your meal, you see something that is visually beautiful. The way it looks, perfection. You take a bite of the meal and you realize it is actually crotte de chien.
I don't fucking know what any of that means.
If you will pardon my French, the restaurant has served you dog poop.
Ah.
Now, it would be understandable if you would be upset. But now imagine you are sitting there in the restaurant and there are others there who hear that you do not like the meal. These other restaurant patrons, children with dog shit in their teeth, all gang up on you and attack you for not loving and praising the meal. They threaten you and look for ways to destroy you because you did not like the dog shit that they gobbled up.
Yeah.
Why did the
It's what happened with Veilguard. It's what's happened with Avowed. It's what happens with all of these major studios. Because, and here's the thing, right? Like, I'm kind of sick of pretending that this doesn't happen, and I think everybody else is too. Studios pay people. That's it, right? Like, you don't even have to pay everybody. You just have to pay the right people with the right audience to really like the game. And if you do that, here's the thing. If you do that, their fans will feel as though they are almost supposed to like the game. And not just like it, defend it. Because, oh my god, my favorite content creator really likes the game, and he's defending it. I haven't necessarily played the game myself, because it's a €100 game. I'm not fucking buying that, because I'm a child. I got no money. I got no motion. I got no pizza. I got no bitches. So I can't buy that fucking game. But my favorite content creator bought it, or was given it, and he's defending it, and he really likes it. So I am going to do the same thing. It happened with Veilguard. It happened with Avowed. It's happening with this. It happened with Rings of Power. It happened with The Witcher. It happens everywhere. Voice crack. But it happens everywhere. And you cannot trust the opinions of bought fans, reviewers, or content creators. They paid Hassan $80,000 to play their fucking. Hassan is a fucking political streamer. He's not a video game streamer. I'm a gamer. Fuck off. All right, shut up. No, you're not. This person challenged Elon Musk to a duel in Elden Ring, and then when Elon Musk accepted, he fucking ran away and didn't want to do it because he's a bitch. Everyone knows that you can beat Elon Musk. He's just a fat rolling intelligence build, right? The guy clearly doesn't fucking understand the full concept of the game. But I will say this: I don't know that Assad does either. My boy couldn't even beat the Aldrich invasion, so I don't fucking know. I think Hassan is the wrong person. I mean, they also paid like Tyler 1. You know what he did? They paid for 2 hours. You know what Tyler 1 did? He played the game for 2 hours. The 2 hour mark hit. Alt F4. Back to League of Legends. Is that the fucking like? I'm sorry. That tells me more than anything else about the game. Motherfucker was playing it for 2 hours. As soon as he wasn't contractually obligated to play it anymore, boop, switch back to the game I enjoy. I mean, look, brother. You know, if you can't even pay for a little bit more than that, you know.
Reviewers tell you this was the best bouffe bourguignon. Why would the reviewers say that? Why
Money,
would they lie about the quality of this meal?
access journalism,
There must be a reason.
money.
Would you ever trust those reviewers again? Would
No,
you ever trust mainstream media again
no.
after they made
Actually, I will say this. I will say this. There is one guy in PC Gamer, and this one fucking journalist. I keep forgetting his fucking name. I've been meaning to talk about him before. Like, he's the guy who, back when Veilguard was going to come out, he said, this game feels like it's ashamed of what it's, used to be, right? It feels like BioWare is ashamed of their franchise and doesn't really want anything to do with it. Like, that guy, most based living journalist for games media right now. It's him. He's the guy. He's working for PC Gamer, and every once in a while, an article pops up, and it's just like, PC Gamer is based? And then immediately it goes back to garbage, right? Like, immediately out. It's just this one fucking guy. So, that guy's good. Everybody else,
you eat crotte de chien? The ability for Ubisoft's stock price to grow has been negatively impacted by the dishonest reviews of Assassin's Creed Shadows misrepresenting the quality and content of the product, not just from mainstream media, but also from children online who are throwing tantrums to defend this commercial product. Over the past few years, mainstream media has been destroying its own credibility by engaging in dishonest and self-serving reporting practices. By saying a product is the best thing in the world, a return to form.
seriously, every time they say return to form, if you're not going back to the thing that made your franchise great, like in the case of Dragon Age, if you're not going back to the gameplay of Origins, shut up. Don't say that shit. You're lying. Outright lying. If in the case of Assassin's Creed, you're not going back to the originals, you're lying. That's it, right? If your parkour in the new game gets fucking mogged by the parkour in fucking Black Flag, shut up. It's not a return to form. You are lying. That's it. That's the end of that conversation.
Only for people to see actual evidence, video footage of that product having flaws and being problematic, you sow seeds of distrust in the minds of people and you lose their trust. So this is how it is. Investors have no reason to trust mainstream media. Gamers, potential customers, have no reason to trust mainstream media. Had the media represented the product honestly, with balanced and fair reporting, Ubisoft's stock price would not be diminishing this way. Had children on the internet not thrown
If they had made Shadows for like $60, and then you can buy the enhanced edition with all the other shit for like $80. And people are coming out and the reviewers are saying, "Yeah, it's a good game. It's got this, it's got that. The animations could be better, da 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 da." But this is very clearly an attempt by Ubisoft to reach out to fans and make a good game. And the entirety of the cycle around the game wasn't built up on, if you hate this, you're a racist. If it wasn't built around that, game would have been much more successful.
tantrums to defend this product with embarrassing behavior, Ubisoft's stock price would not be continuing to plummet.
Of course.
When children defend a product like this with absurd behavior on the internet, it says to investors that the only people who actually like Assassin's Creed Shadows are children with anger issues who never go outside into the real world and only sit at home playing on Twitter and watching Cocomelon videos all day while their mommy spoon feeds them chocolate pudding.
To be fair, having a mommy to spoon feed me chocolate pudding would be fucking sick. Although I wouldn't want it to be my mommy, I want it to be somebody else's mommy.
Honesty, fair reporting, integrity. That is how the games industry will move forward. That is how we will pave the road to the future. How many times do we need to see by example that dishonest reporting results in commercial products failing and game development teams disbanding? Thank you for joining me today. If you're interested in making your own boeuf bourguignon, I will post a link in the description to a fantastic recipe in a YouTube video. You can make this yourself at home.
Good video. Wait, he's not
All
done?
the best.
Okay.
Bonne chance.
French words to you as well. Regardless, this was a good video. What he said at the end, just it's 100% true and correct. You have to respect not just your fans, not just your product, but also yourself. And if you build everything on the backs of deception, on the backs of lies, on the backs of not letting people know what you're doing, and on the backs of bullying people into buying your product anyway, you don't respect yourself. And you don't respect your fans. And you don't respect the work you're doing. If you're not genuine, people don't want to be around you. This goes for everything. It's not just games. But I remember an interview I saw like a couple days ago of not an interview, an article of people talking about how one of the things that Valve realized they needed to do for Half-Life 2 was make sure, not Half-Life 2, Half-Life in general, it needed to be Game of the Year. It needed to be Game of the Year in order to be successful, because if it wasn't Game of the Year, then it would fail. And so they had to make it the best fucking game that they could. Unfortunately, nowadays, instead of going, this needs to be Game of the Year, so it needs to be the best game ever, a lot of companies go, this needs to be Game of the Year, so let's pay people to say it's the best game ever. Unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore. Right? It would have worked 10, 15 years ago. Where, actually, I don't even know if it would have worked 10, 15 years ago. It probably would have, because 15 years ago was like Origins time. Yeah, it would have worked 10, 15 years ago. Because there was still a lot more control over reviews, right? Nowadays, though, I'm not sure about this video game. I'm not sure if I want to play this video game. Let me go on Twitch and watch somebody play it. And then they boot up Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they look at a cutscene of Naue just talking like this. My father was killed. I am here to kill you. How dare you? This is my Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, right? Like, you take one fucking look at that and you go, oh, I'll save my fucking money. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then they bring up they bring up Gothic remake. They bring up the fucking demo, and they see excellent voice acting. They see animations that aren't as amazing, but then it fits with the aesthetic, right? So it's not as bad. They see amazing world building in referential dialogue. They see all of these things, and then they go, why would I buy Assassin's Creed Shadows, a more expensive product who wants to be an RPG really, really badly, and yet fails at all the RPG checkboxes? Same goes for Veilguard, same goes for Avowed, same goes for all of this garbage. AAA studios think that the only successful games are either massive multiplayer games like Call of Duty, fucking Rainbow Six Siege, Battle Royales, all that stuff, or massive open world single player games. The problem is, if you make a massive open world single player game, that's going to be a lot of extra cost. You could probably make a lot more money if instead of doing that, you cut down the world to like half its size. You take out a good chunk of the side activities that don't mean anything, and you spend a little bit of extra time making the side activities that are meaningful more meaningful. There's a collectathon in the game, put a cool weapon at the end of it. Fable got this one. Fable understood. It's like, hey, all the fucking gargoyles that they talk shit. They say, ha 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 ha, you're stinky. Ha 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 ha, you smell bad. Ha 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 ha, I can see your butt from here. Ha ha, fat. You know, and then you shoot all the gargoyles, and then you get entrance into this cave, into this dungeon, and then you go to the end of it, and there's all the gargoyles there, and they're all making fun of you. Ah, ha, 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 ha. And then at the end of it, there's a cool ass gun. And you pick that up, and you go, wow, this is a cool ass gun. You reward people for the collectathon. It doesn't even need to be an overpowered gun, it just needs to be good. And then once they have that good gun, they feel like they were rewarded. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Valhalla, all the Shadows, all of these ones, Origins as well. They don't do that. They just fill your map with busy work. And then at the end of the busy work, you get a cool little thing that says, complete! And that's all you get, right? You get a good job! Now get the fuck out of here, pussy. No. No, you cannot do that. Like, even Black Flag had a little bit of collectathon. You know what was at the end of that? Cool weapons. Cool outfits. That's important. But when you make everything about, like, oh, look, there's all this randomly generated loot for you with all the overpowered legendary items. And then the legendary item is like, I remember, like, somebody talked about this the other day. Odyssey's main weapon, the Sword of Damocles, right? When you fight Deimos and he's got the Sword of Damocles, he or she, most people play it as Katarina, so it's usually a he, but whatever. When you fight Deimos, and they've got the Sword of Damocles, he's fucking throwing around waves of light and causing explosions like, rah, it's a super powerful weapon, woo! And then you get it. It's just a regular sword like anybody else, like any other sword. Seriously? The last fucking weapon of the game? That's what you're giving me? Like in Fable 1, you've got the Sword of Eons, and eventually it gets you get a different one if you're good. But it's the best sword in the game. Deals the most damage, heals you, recovers your mana, increases your experience. Like, it's just the best sword in the game by far. Yeah, it's the final weapon of the game. You're pretty much done with the game by then. But it's the strongest weapon in the game. Like, you're allowed to go a little crazy. It's the final thing, right? And I feel like a lot of AAA studios don't understand that because they are very much of the mindset that you cannot give players something fun. You cannot have players enjoy themselves. Not unless they're paying you extra money. And at that point, fuck these studios. I hope I hope Ubisoft stock goes down to single digits. I hope it goes all the way back down to the value it had when it was first made. Which now that I think, 1 second. Let me say this one fucking properly. Yeah, I hope it goes all the way back down to €2 and 58 cents. That's what I hope for Ubisoft stock. But I think I've said my piece. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how I'm a bad person for not liking Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Cheers.